Hey y'all, I'm back with my May 2021 reading wrap up. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Books with Kimberly. Don't forget to like, comment, share my channel, and of course subscribe. And shout out to any of my new subscribers. Thank you for subscribing to my channel, and I hope you enjoy the content I have for you. So today I am going over the books that I read during May. I read a total of 5 books. I'm not gonna lie, this was a struggle month for me. I just was not in a reading mood. I was kind of forcing myself to go through it. I'm trying to keep myself from getting into a book slump. So let me know some good books y'all have been reading, because the only thing that can really help you stay away from reading slumps is to continue to read really good books. So let's get into it. The first book that I'm going to talk about is Real Men Knit by Kwana Jackson. I was excited to read this book. I actually purchased this ebook when it was on sale, and so I have been just holding on to it for a quick good romance when I needed one. In the month of May, I needed a good quick romance. Real Men Knit is about Jessie and Carrie. Carrie is in her late 20s. She works part-time at a community center and the other time at Strong Knits knitting shop where they do a lot of knitting and they have yarn. Mama Joy, who is the owner of this shop, has passed away, and now Carrie doesn't know what to do, as well as Mama Joy's 4 adopted sons. The youngest brother, Jesse, who is known as the screw up, decides he wants to keep his mother's legacy alive and keep the shop open, and Carrie decides that she's going to continue to help them. This book had a really cute premise. The only thing that really kept me from just loving this book was that I wanted a really good full-blown romance, y'all. And because there were hints that Jessie and Carrie throughout their childhood had an attraction to each other, had this secret crush on each other, I really expected just this boom of romantic feelings when the two of them, like, we're grown now, we're working together all the time with this knit shop, we're really gonna have an all grown up romantic relationship. And I didn't get that. Like, I just was expecting all the romantic feels, and I didn't get any romantic feels from this book. So I give it 3 stars just because the premise of the book was very creative. I like the idea of 4 brothers who know how to knit and were raised by a mother, and they're adopted brothers, so they're all different. I will say another thing that kind of was weird for me was that the author kept hinting, like through the writing, you got hints of maybe the other brothers were attracted and interested in Carrie as well, which I'm all for messiness, honey. I love triangles, honey. It can be a love square, but just don't throw hints of it. Like, honey, either take it out or just throw it in there. Like, let one of the other brothers be like, I won't Carrie. There was even another character who came in, like a parent of one of her students at the community center. He came in, and I was just like, look, I don't care who it is, I want my romance. The next book is The Secret Life of Church Ladies by Deesha Philyaw. Y'all know when I start off with y'all, I like the book. Y'all, this book was really good. It is a series of short stories, and I'm not really familiar with short stories. I think I read a chicken soup book for the soul when I was like in elementary school, but other than that, I stay away from short stories because I like to really dive into fictional novels. So this one surprised me that it was actually short stories. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to give it a try. And thank God I did, because each one of these short stories was so good and so entertaining. They were about Black women who are in their upper 20s, 30s, 40s, even 50s, and these women are just talking about their church upbringing and how it has affected their lives and the situations that they are going through right now. I thought it was just really good. There was some messiness, some funny, some very relatable stories. I related to a lot of those teachings that as a church girl that I've grown up in the Black church hearing. So it was very interesting that Deesha was able to tie in those church upbringing, those lessons, you know, things that we've learned. She even had a point in there when one of the characters was like, look, I just want to breathe. I grew up, my mama stayed on me about wearing a girdle under my dress, about not having your panty line showing. And sis said, I don't want to wear girdles no more. I just want to breathe. And she ended up not going to church because she didn't want to wear girdles. And I was like, I ain't stopped going to church yet, but sis, I do understand about sitting in a 3-hour service with a girdle on. The struggle is real. So yes, it was a lot of that. And I also love that during Pride Month, which I read this book last month, but this month is Pride Month, there was LGBTQIA representation in this book. So this book covered the board. I really enjoyed it, and I actually want to do a standalone review. So stay tuned for that, because I want to dig a little deeper into some of these short stories. But it was really good. Black women, church culture, it was messiness. It was really good. I give this book 5 stars. So the next book I already have done a standalone review for, and that is Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. This is a young adult fiction fantasy novel. I already told y'all that I enjoyed this book and gave it 5 stars. I'm currently reading the second book, and I'll be talking about that one in my June wrap up. So this book is about Alina, who is a sun summoner. She finds out that she has magical powers, and her powers are what the country of Ravka need to free them from the fold. So it was really interesting. Go check out my full review on this book. So the next 2 books I'm talking about are rereads. I ended up reading Parable of the Talents as a reread with my book club. Shout out to them. Y'all, this book is still a 5-star read for me, and I loved it and appreciated it even more listening to it on audiobook this time, as well as getting to discuss it and digging deep into these messages that Octavia E. Butler put into this book. This book is set in 2032. She wrote it in the 90s, but it's so relevant as to what's going on today. It's crazy, y'all. Y'all have to read this book. So the last book that I read in May was Donna Hill's Secret Attraction. As y'all can see, this book is faded and folded at the corners because I have reread this book so many times. It is one of my go-to romance novels when a book that I read maybe in the month wasn't as romantic as I needed it. So I kind of pick up a romance that I know is going to satisfy that need for romance. This is one of those books. Donna Hill's Secret Attraction is about Desiree, who is a twin. Her twin sister's name is Dominique. She has a secret crush on her sister's best friend, Spence Hampton. And come to find out, Spence has a crush on her too. And so the two of them start this relationship. And the whole time I'm like, now what the sister gonna think? This is a really cute and romantic story. It gives me all the feels. So y'all, this book was definitely 5 stars like it was before. Let me know what y'all are reading. What are some books y'all read in the month of May? And thank you again for tuning in to a Books with Kimberly video.